Hi, I'm Kanisha. Welcome to my channel. I'm here to talk about Sense8 Season 1, Episode 5. I felt like this episode was mostly showing the audience how the powers are increasing and the connections are getting stronger. And it made me realize that I still don't fully understand how these powers work. So this actually, one of the scenes that made me question my understanding of it was when Riley and Capheus were meeting. So he tells her that he wanted to drink the tea. He picks up the teacup and takes a sip. And then the headlights from the car kind of interrupt them. And he's back in Nairobi and she is standing up with the teacup. So I still don't know how this connection functions. I thought maybe in season 1 I was wondering maybe this is an expansion of the mind, and that, for example, Capheus is still in Nairobi standing in the street and he experiences the headlights blinding him, and also he can share Riley's senses and she's the one drinking the tea. But I don't know if it's is it sharing one mind, or would Capheus be in her mind and his body is empty? I still don't know how this is working. And I thought maybe because Capheus was drinking the tea, or he had the sensation of drinking the tea, but it was really Riley standing up with the teacup. I thought maybe this meant that the powers aren't working as I originally thought that they were, and what I questioned in episode 1. Because when I talked about episode 1, I talked about the 3 things about the powers that I thought were interesting, and one of those things was the example I gave with the old guy from the first episode who was talking with Angelica, and he could see that she had some drugs near her, and he picked up a piece of foil, it looked like. I thought that was him moving it, but maybe that actually means Angelica moved it. I don't get what these powers are. I thought I had a decent grasp on it, and I'm assuming there will eventually be some clarification about what is and isn't possible, but I thought it was one thing, and now I'm thinking, okay, maybe that's not actually how this works. And I thought it was different from when Will was helping Nomi escaped. I thought so. Maybe this goes back to visiting versus sharing. Jonas was talking with Will about visiting and sharing, and I had assumed that visiting was something that only people outside of the cluster could do with, I guess, someone else in a different cluster. And then I thought visiting and sharing were things people inside the cluster could do whenever. Visiting was something exclusive, an exclusive power of someone outside the cluster, and visiting and sharing could be done by people within the same cluster. But when Nomi was escaping the hospital, Will used his experience getting out of handcuffs to help her. I'm trying to figure this out, and I mean, I feel eventually there's gonna be someone that is going to be able to explain all this and be like concrete with it. I thought I understood, but I don't feel like I know how this actually works. And I feel like knowing how the powers work is important to like realizing why the powers exist, like in like who wants to exploit them. Because eventually the old guy is gonna come back eventually, and I don't know about Jonas. He's locked up, so I wouldn't be surprised if he comes back at some point in this season or next season. But we as the audience were, watching these episodes and still trying to get a feel for all these characters and what these powers are. But there's still like this overarching, like looming danger in the old guy and what happened with Angelica. So right now everything is kind of chill and people's individual lives are like going crazy, like they're in crazy situations, especially Sun and Leto, and I think to some extent Kala, like her life is crazy too. But like all the individual stuff, I feel like is eventually going to either be completely cut away from the show, or all of the Sense8's individual lives will have an impact on the old guy and Jonas and whatever is going on with that. But yeah, these powers are confusing, and just seeing that Riley was the one holding the tea really made me like think about what it was that was happening, and it felt different than what I had understood before. So I wanted to bring that up and say that it felt different than when Will was helping Nomi escape the hospital. But maybe it's the same. Maybe, like, I still don't get it. Maybe you can help me. So if you can explain in the comments, that would be helpful. Or if it'll be explained later on, just wait. I'll get there. Also, I'm concerned about Jonas, and more so I'm concerned that the Sense8s are going to have a very difficult time learning their powers and like how they got their powers and all that kind of stuff. I feel like there is going to have to be someone that can come and teach them, and if it's not Jonas, like, he's not a part of the cluster, so he can only, I guess, visit with Nomi and Will. I wonder if Jonas is visiting with Nomi and let's say Riley is, I don't know, a part of the connection, could Jonas talk to Riley through Nomi? Like, I don't know, maybe something like that could work if Jonas is the one that's going to be able to teach the Sense8s about what's happening with them. But I just feel like somebody has to come and help them. Like, they are struggling with their lives. They can't like control when the connection happens. And I wonder eventually, is this connection gonna end up being a situation where they feel each other's senses all the time? Like, all 8 of them together are going to have sensations of being in different locations simultaneously? That sounds horrible. And I hope it doesn't come to that, because that sounds like a miserable existence. But maybe it won't be like that. But I don't know. Someone has to teach the Sense8s what's going on, and if it's not going to be Jonas, I wonder if someone from Angelica's cluster could fill in somehow. Like, maybe, I assume that Jonas and Angelica were in the same cluster, and if that's the case, maybe Jonas could notify someone else in that cluster to go find Angelica's kids. I do wonder, like, how many people are in a cluster. Is it always 8? Could it be more or less? Well, I feel like one obvious reason to not be connected anymore is to pass away. But I wonder, is it possible to turn off the power somehow? Like, I just have a lot of questions about what is happening, why this is happening to these 8 people. And I wonder if there is anything specifically dangerous about these powers that would, like if you've seen Stranger Things, you know that 11 has powers, and when she exerts them too much, she gets a nosebleed. So is there something equivalent to that for the Sense8s? Like, is there something dangerous about having these powers? I mean, we've only seen Nomi faint when she saw Jonas, and Will mention in the whatever gas station, whatever store, convenience store, that he was having headaches. But is that it? And even when Will was talking to Jonas, Jonas said that the headaches will, like, subside eventually. So I just wonder what are the drawbacks, like, physically. Do you die sooner? Does your brain, I mean, we kind of seen with Nomi, like, your brain chemistry changes, so do you not live longer because of that? Like, what? I just wonder, maybe, I mean, none of that might matter, but I'm curious about everything about these powers. And even though Kala fainted at the end of this episode, I don't know if it was because she saw Wolfgang naked, or if the powers were getting to be too much. I wanted to, like, I would hope the answer is that it was due to the powers, because I had been wondering I think that was the second episode that Nomi fainted. I had wondered if her experience had anything to do with the powers, or was there something else about her body that led to, or that contributed to her fainting when she saw Jonas. Back then, I was leaning heavily towards this has something to do with the powers, and I feel the same way this time, even though to her what she saw from Wolfgang was shocking. But I still feel like, I just wonder if we're gonna get some episode, or some mentor is gonna come through for the Sense8s and tell them all about the dangers of their powers. I also want to talk about Sun this episode. She has, like, a really interesting conversation with Capheus about keeping promises to their mothers, and it seems like by the end of the episode she makes a decision that she's going to try and save her brother and save the family business. I'm wondering if she is going to confess to the crimes of her brother, are we going to see a trial? Are we going to see her go to prison? I feel like none of that's going to happen. I don't know how that's possible if it's heading in that direction. It would be interesting to see, like, I think it would be interesting if she decided, like, maybe she was on her way to confess, but then at the last second something happens and she changes her mind. So her brother goes down, maybe, I don't know, maybe something that her brother says, or maybe something her dad says to her, because she tells Capheus that, like, they haven't been treating her well, so maybe they say something to her and she decides to change her mind. That would be, I think that would be interesting. But I just feel like some kind of trial or her just going to prison just isn't going to be like a viable option for the show. Even if it did, maybe, like, I'd have a feeling that maybe the old guy from the first episode would find a way to intervene, because I feel like he wants the Sense8. The conversation he has with Angelica, it just feels like he's using the Sense8 for something. Don't know what. I assume it's something criminal. But I think if Angelica's gone, and who knows who else is in her cluster or was in her cluster. Like, I have no idea if anybody in her cluster is still alive. So if he wants to use these Sense8 for something, then of course he would try to go after Angelica's Sense8 that I guess she gave birth to. It's kind of what it sounded like. Yeah, that's weird, but I really want to know more about these powers, and I feel like it has to be coming, and I need to be a little patient, but I can't wait to get the lowdown on how these powers work. Like, why these 8 people specifically? It didn't seem like they have anything in common. A few of them have like a connection based on pharmaceuticals, like Capheus's mom and Kala, and I think Sun had a little bit of connection with money was maybe being stolen from a pharmaceutical company or pharmaceutical stock, something like that. But there's really, I can't see any other possible connections between all 8 of them. Maybe it doesn't have to be that all 8 have to have something in common. So maybe it could be like a connect the dots sort of situation where, for example, Riley connects to Will connects to Nomi, Nomi connects to Leto. Like, maybe that's, maybe, I don't know. I just really want to know how these powers work and how these people got them. The next, I want to talk about Leto. Like, I felt so bad for him this episode. He was having a terrible morning because of Sun, and he was absolutely falling apart at work when they were filming the scene where the woman walks down the staircase. Man. And then he was having a meltdown in the car. Like, I just felt so bad for him. I wonder if it must be possible that the Sense8 can choose who to connect with. Because I was thinking, if maybe in the future when they get better at their powers, if any of the ladies are on their period, maybe the guys could choose to disconnect somehow, because God, Leto was going through it and I felt so bad, and he has absolutely zero experience going through that. Man, yeah, I just felt bad. But yeah, so maybe when the Sense8s like get better at their powers, they can account for some of that and like know who to connect with, I guess. I feel like I don't have a whole lot else to talk about. This episode seemed like it was mostly about the connection between everyone getting stronger, and I talked about my difficulty understanding these powers and how they work. But yeah, Leto was having a tough time. Sun had a tough time. Ugh, I really feel bad for Kala. I guess she feels stuck being engaged to Rajan. And again, I don't feel like Rajan is a bad guy. We don't have any evidence that he is like terrible to her or terrible for her. So it just really sucks. I don't know if it's like, is it worse that she is going through with this marriage and he has no idea that she doesn't feel the same way that he feels about her? Or would it have been better for her to like completely reject him from the beginning and he'd never have like an opportunity to be in a relationship with her or be engaged to her? I don't know. It might have been better if Kala like never agreed to, well, I guess it's an arranged marriage, right? So maybe she doesn't have much of a say. I wonder if she had told Rajan that she wasn't really interested in him, would he have been understanding and called off the marriage? I don't know, maybe he would have tried to convince her to like, let's go on a date and see how it goes. I don't know if that's how it works in India, but this was an arranged marriage and maybe that's just it. But yeah, I really feel bad for Kala and I really feel bad for Rajan, because neither of them deserve this situation, or deserve this bad of a situation, but there's nothing that can be done. The thing I'm most interested in seeing next episode, besides getting any information about these powers, is what's going on with Nomi. Her place got ransacked, I assume by the police, because her mom and the doctor are like out looking for her, and maybe they were looking for clues about her whereabouts. But what is gonna happen? I don't know if she's gonna like end up connecting with one of the Sense8s and go to them. Is she just gonna be on the run with her girlfriend and like move away? So yeah, I have no idea how that's gonna go, and I'm looking forward to seeing what's next for her. The last thing I want to talk about before I go. So this episode, we saw Riley and Capheus connect, through the tea time. For you, let me know in the comments, if you were a Sense8 and you were connected to some random stranger, what city or region would you want that stranger to live in so that you could visit there? For me, I would love to be able to visit New Zealand because I would like to watch a rugby game live, and I think some of the best rugby players play in New Zealand. That would be great for me. And of course, I hear that it's a very scenic place, very pretty, like landscapes and all that kind of stuff. That I wouldn't hate that either, but mostly for the rugby. But yeah, that's where I want to go. So let me know in the comments, if you were connected to a stranger, where would you want them to live so that you could visit them through the Sense8 powers? That's gonna do it for me for this episode or video, whatever. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. If you enjoyed this video, I want to give you a gift as thanks for watching. You can get early access to watch my next video. You won't have to wait a week to see my thoughts on the next episode. Just click the link in the description to get access now. I'll see you there.